Hey, what's up, guys? It's Johel Sandoval from the It's About Time podcast. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. You guys are about to watch one of the best podcasts ever with me and two Australian exchange students, Perry and Chris. We had an amazing, fun, and hilarious time. But before you guys keep watching, I want you guys to please subscribe, like, and share this video. It shows me all the love and support you guys have for the podcast. So, enjoy and have a great time listening. 3, 2, 1. Nope, I didn't like that.
How many times do you record the start usually?
0. Have amazing guests with us today. I call them the Australian boys. The show is the show from down under.
Mm-hmm.
We have great guests. How about you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Chris Diggle. I'm from Melbourne, Australia.
My name's Perry. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and we're both exchange students studying at UCI at the moment.
Yes. I feel weird right now because we had like the longest time setting up this whole thing. And yeah, it's getting a little hot in here.
A little bit frazzled, you know how it is.
We got chili at the end of the show, so you guys have to tune in and stick around. We're going to be eating some very hot chilies, and I'm going to be asking these guys right here some very intense, personal history questions from Australia, and also some fun, intense stories.
It's gonna be a stretch of the memory. I haven't learned that since year 8 back home.
Literally.
Supposedly, it's the most famous Australian.
Oh, okay.
So you guys might.
I'm excited for this.
So my biggest thing, and what I kind of wanted to just jump right into, is a lot of the people listening are going to be people, of course, that grew up here in California, SoCal people, but especially just here in like America.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing that I wanted to kind of talk about right at the beginning, just to get us going, was just how different our childhoods like, probably are from you guys growing up in Australia, and then like as opposed to like me growing up in SoCal.
Yeah, sounds good.
So let's say like school wise, how's that different from like growing up, like elementary, middle school, high school? Is that the same or?
So we have kindergarten through to year 6, that's like primary school, and there's no middle school for us. We just go from year 7 straight through to year 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting that everyone has like that period where I think is it grade 7 through to grade 8 you're at middle school, so it's only 2 years.
6 to
8. Yeah,
it's like 3.
so you got that, and then you go to different high schools after that. So that's interesting because like back home, I made a lot of my friends in the first couple of years of high school, so it'd been very disconcerting in year 9 to just all of a sudden meet everyone new again and fresh new faces and totally different school.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, like I changed high schools in year 9, so I guess it's a similar sort of concept to what you guys have over here. But I don't know. Like we were chatting about it with a couple of people we're close with over here the other week, and like growing up, like telling stories to each other, everything kind of sounds almost the same. Like it seems such a weird concept.
Yeah,
we're over the other side of the world, but we still did all the same things. We still ran around and played hide and seek. We still ran around and played Kiss JC, all the funny games, like all that sort of stuff. Like it was all very similar. I was like reminiscing about it. It's like it just kind of makes you think about like how like there's so much differences, but there's also so many similarities.
Yeah, 100%
across everything. So,
what about you?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. So it's just like when I was growing up. I guess it's just trying to find stories that we have that are similar, so people are just like, oh, like it's kind of the same. So in elementary, a big thing was tag.
Yeah, we did that.
So I don't know if that's right. And that okay, like was the fastest kid in school the coolest kid in school when you guys were growing up? Because there's a period in elementary where like if you're the fastest kid, then you got like clout and like you were like
100%.
Maybe not the fast kid, but definitely like the sporty kid.
Yeah, the sporty
kid was always the cool kid of campus.
Were you guys?
Unfortunately,
I won the sports board in year 6 back home, so doesn't know what that says about me. But no, it's like we didn't play tag. We played this game called Kill the Deal with the Pill. Have you heard it? You know that one? You run around and you got a ball and you got to throw it and hit someone. If you hit that person, then they're in, and they run around and throw a ball back at the other person. That's an interesting one. That got banned pretty quickly back home. It was good while it lasted.
How about you, Chris?
Oh, pretty much the same. It's like tag.
Yeah.
40-40 home. It's like you had to there's one person always like at the base guarding base, and if they saw you, then like you were out and you had to come and like get freed.
Just looking?
Yeah, just looking. So if they said, 40-40 see you, Chris, then you're out. You got to go stand with them, but you got to like sneak up and like touch where like the home base is and say 40-40 home.
Damn, I haven't played that
So,
in
like,
ages.
that-
That was such a fun
That
game.
was probably our biggest one. We had like this big wooden playground, which is like lots of hiding spots.
I'm trying to think what the American version would be, because I feel like a lot of this is going to be, you guys are going to be using terminology that I'm going to have to like...
if we say something, just ask us and we'll try to reiterate it.
So, I mean, the closest thing right off the bat when you were talking about it, like guarding a place, be like capture the flag, but I don't even know if that's even close to...
Yeah.
Oh, we played a bit of capture the flag.
Because capture the flag is like, we had, so each has a little square, and then people are guarding that little
square, and you gotta get
square
in.
with the flag, and when you get in, no one can touch you, and then trying to cross a certain line. But 40-40
home.
40
home.
That's a throwback.
We played another one called Sardines. You heard of that?
I think...
So it's like hide and go seek but reverse. So one person hides, and then there's like 30 people trying to find someone in the school, and you hide with them if you find them.
Those
so
are
towards the end of
great
the
ideas.
game, there's like 15, 20 people all hiding together trying to laugh in like an elementary school. So obviously you're just giggling and losing your mind,
great.
and there's one person running around trying to find everyone else as well. That was a really good one back home. What else?
I think we were very limited in our imagination over here. Because it was either tag, freeze tag, zombie tag. Everything was just tag. Like
Just another version of tag.
It's just other versions of tag.
Do you play handball?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
handball.
handball.
Yeah.
Handball's a
Or
big one
down
for us as
ball
well.
or Foursquare.
What's that?
Oh, Foursquare.
Foursquare is a big
Yeah,
one.
that's a big one.
That was fun. That was
a lot of
really
fun.
good back home.
Wait, so handball, there's two different handballs.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if we're talking about the same one.
Mine was the 4 squares, and there's a king, queen, jacks, and a duns.
That's Foursquare.
That's handball for us in Sydney.
Nah, it's Foursquare.
Okay, handball I was talking about, there's a wall.
Yeah, so that's the handball I was talking about.
what?
So like you got to bounce it into the wall and whatever. And
It's
then
like
the
one
next
bounce.
We
person-
call that wall ball, back in Sydney.
There you go.
Close enough.
So you guys have different terminology even.
Oh, yeah.
So much. Yeah, like we
So
created.
how much does it differ? Like,
Well, like we created a bit of like a slogan list, like I don't know, colloquial terms from back home, and like the amount of ones that I put in there, which Perry's like, nah, or the ones that like Perry puts in, I'm like, what are you talking about, mate? That's not it.
yeah.
So like it's been kind of interesting, sort of like seeing the differences, but like they're all pretty similar.
Yeah.
Like I understand what he's saying most of the time. But
Most of the time.
I guess that's pretty close to, like, in Spanish. So if I'm speaking, Mexican Spanish, but like a Colombian starts speaking Spanish to me, like I used to, I was talking to this one girl over FaceTime, and she was talking to me in Spanish because I was like, oh, you know Spanish? And she was like, yeah. She was talking to me in Spanish about like her day. Supposedly she went to the pool, she went to the park after, and I did not understand anything because like the terms she was using, like completely different. Where like, alberca, like alberca is like what I would call like a pool, and she was using like piscina and like this all.
Some mixed
I don't know if
match
you
of
guys
everything,
understand, but
no idea.
but like it
I
was
speak
like,
one language, English, and that's it.
We both actually went to Mexico over the holidays.
oh wow,
Oh, that was interesting having no Spanish background. I think
how's that?
Conte Cuesta is how much? The Cuenta Costa? One of those
Oh,
two?
cuánto cuesta?
Oh, yeah, I still didn't know. That's one of the only things I knew. And then
Cuesta.
Cincuenta's 50? Yeah, that's like jumping in a cab and be like, 50. And be like, yes, let's go. Just like 50 meters down the road.
Nice.
And I like when I got there, I was very surprised how little English they spoke, and it was a bit of a culture shock. It was a bit like
Oh yeah, because most places like
you kind of think like, oh, like English is going to be like their second language, but it's a bit of a kick up the bum. There's a bit of like naivety from my part.
where'd you guys go?
I went to Guadalajara and Port Escondido.
Really? In Guadalajara, that's where my parents are from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, like
that's
in the city center, they spoke a bit of English,
do.
but as soon as you like
It's because
left,
like when you're in the city, like most places, like it's more like young
young,
people that go to
touristy as
university,
well.
so they know like a bunch of English.
Yeah. I went to Mexico City, Puerto
I haven't
Escondido,
been.
San Cristobal, Playa del Carmen, and then I left after that. No, wait. No, I did leave. Oh, I went to Cancun for a day, and then I left. But then mates went to Tulum, And then they went down to the rest of the South America trip after that. It was good to go.
Wait, so was it part of your guys' like a program or something, or?
No, it was just a bit of trouble. So my sister came over. Like we had obviously the winter break, and we just had a bit of time, so we thought we might as well make use of it. My sister came over, so went and spent a week and a half sort of traveling Mexico, which is
Nice.
really cool. Just sort of like we're over here, might as well make use of our time, sort of thing. So
100%.
yeah.
How'd you guys like it? How'd you guys like the food?
I love the food. Oh, it's so good. It was so nice. My favourite place actually was San Cristobal. It was just up in the mountains.
Okay.
And that was really cool because it was a bit more non-touristy and like walking around. We saw, I reckon, about 5 or 6 foreigners over the space of like 4 or 5 days. We were travelling outside of the town a lot, but there's a lot of people who kind of like, we just walked past. But that was really good. The food there was awesome. Really, really nice.
How'd you like the food?
Oh, like compared to what we get back home for Mexican food, what is it? Taco Bell every now and again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just
I
like
could imagine.
it's awesome. So
Because not even here in the United States, like from the West Coast to the East Coast, like Mexican food, completely different.
Yeah.
Like my brother says, like especially like, so he lived in New York for a bit for work, then they moved him down to Miami. So he's been like two of the biggest cities, right? But he says that the Mexican food is like in New York, it's non-existent or it's really bad. Because it's also like different Hispanic cultures.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Where it's like more like Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
Cuban, like all that kind of
100%.
stuff. So
Yeah, we don't get. Do you have any nice Mexican places around you?
No.
There's this one joint back home which is really nice, but apart from that, I just.
what's it called? Shout them out.
They're called Montezuma's in Crow's Nest. If you're listening, that place is bloody good. That's really nice, that food. Really good food.
All right, we had good podcast material while we were waiting.
Yeah, literally while I was
Yeah.
waiting, we were speaking like there's nothing.
Yeah, we were
like,
just talking.
Yeah.
No
having a good
pressure.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is one, because I was just getting to know you guys, so that's like the best thing. Because I mean, we haven't really like ever sat down,
Yeah.
had a nice conversation. So, I mean, it's just nice to like hear that you guys would like do those kind of things.
Yeah,
Tag, handle
Yeah.
it. Like just hearing that, it's crazy.
I think the funniest one, like I remember, we were just sitting in Gateway, like the study center, and we were just like chatting away. And it was like the funniest thing that was just so universal was like when you call up your friend's home and you go like, "Hi," like speaking to the mum, you're like, "Hey Janet, how you going? Is Johnny home? Is Johnny around to have a play date or something?"
Yeah.
And you have to ask the parents if you
Yeah,
can speak to them, and like you'd have to go home, or then your mum and dad would say, "All right, you can go out, but you got to be back by by sunset," and like you always push the limits. You'd always come back a little bit late, see if you get away with it, all that sort of stuff. So
Every time it's a little bit more.
every time that little bit later, but
Yeah.
So like that was kind of cool to think like that's what I always did, and then speaking to some of our friends, that's exactly what they said they did. So it was kind of like, as I said before, like so different over the other side of the world, but it's also so similar. Like everyone grows up sort of just having fun, using their imagination, doing what they can, sort of thing.
100%. I was lucky. All my best mates live within like a 5-minute walk from me. There's about 7 of us. 7? Yeah, all around the corner from like growing up, like the year 7 and 8
Okay.
high school. And so we were just getting up to mischief back home, just doing ridiculous stuff.
Kind of the same thing. Like I got really lucky because I've known my core group of friends from back home. I've known since like elementary.
Yeah.
So that's like when we were in like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, and we've been together. And I think a big thing was because we were like 5 minutes away from each other. So instead of like calling, sometimes I just show up. They always show up at my place because my mom would always be making food. So they wouldn't ever say anything, but they'd be like, they come and like, "Hey, your mom. Does your mom make food?" And my mom is like the biggest. I don't know if this is like a thing, but my mom will not let you leave until you eat.
Really?
She will stuff people's like faces until like, or she'll make you sit down. And
That was my grandma. Back home, that's a grandma. If you never left hungry. You always went over there, and she'd always have 10 things cooked up in the fridge, and you'd always
Does she
try
ever get
something.
aggressive though?
A little bit sometimes. Not like too aggressive, but like it was kind of like it was just the unwritten rule. You just eat. Like even if you weren't hungry, you were gonna eat. So
100%. Yeah. I don't know. My mum, love your mum, but she was always just like, don't bring people around because of one of the play dates and I asked in front of the parents. Mum got really upset with me because she's like, I can't say no to that. Or people just raid our fridge. Like I had a few, like because we all lived close to one another. The boys would come over and after 2 hours there, half the pantry's gone. I was like, come on, like, are you kidding me?
Housing situation. That's what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys live with how many people?
There's 11 of us in the house.
That's 11.
It's a lot of people, but it's fun. It's really good. The house is really big. I don't know how they're.
How is it after parties? That's a big question. So where you guys? So you guys live in
Silvercrest.
Silvercrest, yeah.
Which is it's a main. It's one of the main party.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a really nice house. I'm surprised someone's rented it out to college students, to be honest.
No, the biggest thing that I realized is they just care about money. Because our house is after a couple. People have no respect.
No respect.
No, it's
actually ridiculous.
Okay, I have a. So Twan, you guys know Twan?
Yeah.
You guys ever met Twan? So he was so excited, right? He bought like a 6-pack or like an 8-pack of Klondike bars, the ice cream, those little.
Like the sandwich bars, the ones with the cookies on top.
Bars.
Yeah. They're really good, yeah.
Really, really, really good. So they're ice cream bars. He was super excited.
Yeah.
Like his favorite, like mint chocolate chip. Puts it in the fridge. We duct tape everything right before the party. I think it was Halloween. It was one of the parties. And for some reason, we knew he had them in there because for some reason he came in super excited, like that he had bought them. He's like, "Oh, after the party, when I'm drunk, I'm so excited to eat these. Like they're gonna smack they're gonna be so good."
Yeah.
After the party, when everybody leaves, we see that the duct tape is ripped off in everything. The cabinets, everything's ripped off. And we're all talking, and we're kind of all like kind of drunk already. And we're all talking about oh, what a fucking crazy party. What a crazy party that was. And then you just hear Twan, "Who the fuck ate my Klondike bars? Who the fuck ate my Klondike bars?" And Jack's drunk on the edge, like next to music, listening to music, and he's just like, yo. You know how he talks? He's like, "Yo, I saw some girls eating them." And then the girls ripped the duct tape. Because you know how when girls get like drunk at parties, they like ravage through everything. Right? We saw like our fridge got destroyed.
God.
Like weird stuff, but like supposedly girls were just having nice Klondike bars in the corner. And he was so pissed off.
I'd have been so hurt at the end of the night as well. I've been looking forward to it.
He was looking forward to it so much.
People are hiding eggs in the house now.
You guys?
They were hiding eggs, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone just rips through them in the morning. I actually stole Ahmad's bread the other day. I feel really bad about that. He messaged me and I was like, "Oh, I'll buy your bag." He's like, "No, just buy some bread, please." Like, it's all good.
So how do you guys prepare? Do you guys prepare for the parties?
Yeah, we for Silver Coach, which is the one we had recently, Sandro was like, "I'm gonna get this soundboarding right," and he did a really good job, like great job. But usually we get the pledges to set up, and it was set up great. And then music's pumping. We usually have like white noise going out the front and the back, and we have someone out the front who's checking names off, letting anyone in, and then someone's kind of like periodically checking out the back. Like it was loud, but nothing loud we've already had. And like 11 o'clock, cop showed up. Were you there?
No, I did. I
Wow.
did.
11 p.m. Just the cops pull up, and so everyone's like, "Oh, well, this is really hurt. Like, this is terrible." And everyone's like, "Was it the soundboard?" Like, "No, it wasn't soundboard. Soundboard was fine. Like, was the music too loud?" Like, "Oh, I don't know. The music was too loud." And then we don't know what happened. But then in the end, I think everyone went to your house in the end at like 11:30.
RJ's,
Yeah, like 12 o'clock at night. Everyone just left, and we're all sitting in the house. Actually, no, we'd left actually. But I can just imagine everyone sitting back, just being like, "Well, that sucked." Like all the work to get into setting it up, and then just after probably an hour, or not even an hour, like 45 minutes of it going, just shut down completely. We had like 150 people there. It was about to go off. It was going to be good fun. It's going to be a good night. Everyone's super excited for it. And it was just the most anticlimactic thing I've experienced over here so far, which is not great.
I don't know. It's one of those funny ones when you come like bring up setting up. It's like any house with 11 guys. You're always trying to like push over responsibility to someone else. It's always like, "Nah, I set up last time. You set up this time."
That's why pledges.
Best thing ever. Yeah. But yeah, so like we only obviously got 2 pledges this quarter or whatever, so like, we can't really blame them. Can't really put it on them, so we got to do a bit, and it's always like, "Oh, I did it last time, you do it this time." It's always a bit of back and forth, but in the end we're so
get scared. Done, so. That's what we're scared of, is that there's no pledges this time, and the party's going to be huge.
Both houses, yeah.
So we don't know who's going to clean it up.
I remember after your bid party you had, like that slide, that was a good party. That was a really good party.
Exactly.
We all went and cleaned it up, and it took us like an hour with like 20 blokes to clean it up completely.
That was a great party, huh?
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was
That was
definitely
like that was our welcome to America kind of party. It was like week one, like we weren't really sure what we were doing.
We were so excited for that party.
Oh, it was great. You should get that slide back. That's really fun.
For spring.
Yeah, 100%.
Dagers all the time.
Yeah, it's just such a nice setup you guys have got with the two houses back to back, and like I haven't seen you guys be rolled yet.
No, it's because the first party we ever had, we had way too much people there. We opened it up. It was you guys remember?
Rush Week, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk through the back door. Couldn't literally walk through your front house.
We had like 700 people at least because we filled up both houses, and then the driveway was filled up, and that's when that's the welcome to fucking UCI frat life for like our neighbors because they're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, honestly.
Like, yeah. So that's when the cops came and they threatened us that they're gonna tell the city what's going on. Jack is off the shits talking to the cop like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand.
Yeah.
I remember just being there and I was like, oh yeah, we'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the next party before the daydream, like I think two nights coming up to the daydream, they had like quinceañeras. So like it's like very Latino. And they had a party up till like 2 a.m. and they called the cops on us. Yeah. So like the day before the daydream, I went over to our neighbors and I would like talk to them and I was like, hey, like you guys throw parties, like it's a bunch of college students, we're just having a good time. Yeah. And then they're super cool with it and they're
awesome.
Like, okay.
It's done well. Every party been there has been really good fun so far.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's a good house. You guys would open up every weekend. No chance. No chance at all.
No chance.
Yeah. Well, we're still on a 30-day. We got a 30-day from that
Oh.
facility coach thing. We've just like perpetually been on 30 days, I feel like. Like 3 months in a row now, which...
I think when it comes to spring quarter, we'll be... Like, I enjoy daydreams way more. Because it's like the sun's out.
That's what everyone says,
like, it's just more fun. I don't know.
100%.
What do you think?
Oh yeah, I just prefer it. Like it's more drinking, like just having a good time, sort of.
Because you can drink throughout the whole day.
And you're having a chat with people rather than just sort of being like in a party scene where it's like dark, too loud. You can't talk to them. Like you can get to know people. You sort of get close with them and all that. And then obviously once the night eventuates a bit more, then you get dancing and it's like good fun. So it's sort of like that build up where it's like creates this sort of the vibe for the night rather than just like come in and it's got to be like, oh my god, this is going to be the best thing ever. And so it's sort of so much pressure on like one point in time. Yeah. It's like that nice build up and everyone's like having a good time with each other.
Yeah.
So I love day drinking. Like that's my favorite thing. Like,
so I like drinking back home.
Yeah.
The drinking here and back home is very different. Like you can test to it. When we have like pre's before going out, like pre-game.
Okay.
We have, I don't know.
Oh, it just starts earlier.
Earlier, yeah.
Yeah, you sort of start around 6 o'clock. You have dinner together. You've got your closest 5, 10, whatever the group is, and you're sort of having a drink. And there's no like rush. There's no doing handle pulls or anything like that. You're having a drink you enjoy. So
Sandoval's killed me for 2 weeks straight.
That's what I thought it was growing up, and that's because like in my family, like my first tequila shot was when I was 12, but it was because we were celebrating this big thing that my brother did, and they're like, Joel, take a shot.
Yeah.
All right, I can do it. But I always thought that the best way to have a party is that way, where it's like a gradual thing. Because freshman year I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like I was like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drink whatever, like just to have a good time. I think that's the best way to do it, where it's like a gradual. Because then it's kind of weird, you know.
Well, I don't know. Personally, like I quite enjoy beer. Like I enjoyed it. I drink not only just to like get drunk. I drink because I enjoy drinking. So it's kind of like it's nice to sort of start early, enjoy your drinks, and then as the night, as I said, night eventuates, you start getting more and more, more drunk, more fun, and like you start dancing. You do whatever you do from there. But like it's not that whole quickly do it now. Yeah. And then before you know it, it all hits you at once, and you're in a bush somewhere.
Yeah.
So yes, that does happen.
There's a big pub culture back home as well. Like we'll go to pubs with mates before going out.
So what's the drinking age over there?
18.
Yeah.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
That helps.
It does help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so we'd go out for pre-games. We'd go, let's go to this bar, let's go to this pub, and we'd go there, and then we'd go to another pub, and you'd eventually end up somewhere else after like 3 or 4 different pubs.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good fun. I like that.
So it's just sort of like you're with your friends, you're going out with your friends. I guess like for me back home, when we go out, I go out to have fun with my friends, sort of thing. And then like if anything else happens on top of that, it's happy days. But otherwise, it's like you're just having fun with your friends. So I guess so like that starting earlier and drinking together all sort of builds on that. You're all together. You're all just having a good time,
Yeah.
chatting shit, doing
But
whatever you do.
how much of it is you trying to end with happy days? Like you said.
Personally, not often. Like because I came out of a long-term relationship before I came over here.
Okay.
So for me, it was always just going out with my
Having
friends,
good
having a good time, and then I guess maybe that's just been ingrained in me since. Like I prefer to have a good night with my friends, and then
Solid.
who cares what happens otherwise, sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, I had a long-term girlfriend as well.
Oh, okay. We're all on the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not much fun over here.
And so
Because I was about to say, I was like, oh, I'm on the same boat as you. Like now.
Yeah, it's
Continue,
like
sir.
it's weird going out back home because it's not like over here. Like people are very forward. Like a guy will go up to a girl and just chat to her. Even if she was with a mate, so go chat to her. Whereas back home, like if I was out with my mates and I went up to some random girl at a bar and started talking to her with all of her mates sitting around there, it'd be pretty weird. It'd be an interesting thing. Like you usually go over with a group and like your groups kind of just start talking and chatting and having a good time, and then you see what happens after that. You might like someone, you buy them a drink and you just chat to them, and then it's just much more not laid back, but just less forward.
I think it's different. Like our whole sort of culture of going out is brought forward. So when you're 18, you start talking to girls at bars rather than a college party.
Yeah,
at a college
there you go.
party, you kind of know people. Like who knows what happens? It's a bit easy. Like not easy. I don't want to say that, but like it's just like you know them, like or your friends know them. Whereas like because our whole sort of drinking age is brought forward, you end up going and chatting to people that you don't actually know, which is a fun thing.
Fun, yeah.
That's fun,
But it's also a bit more intimidating. It's a bit more adult. It's all that sort of stuff.
Which is weird because that happened to me. So I recently turned 21, and it was like my first time kind of going to. I've been to Sharky's before. But like,
It's not really. Wait, not really a bar.
I was only 21 when I went to bars. So I go to Sharky's with a good friend of mine, and with no intentions of happy days. You know? That's gonna be the new thing. Later, we went out to have a good time, but it was so weird because the bars. It was a Friday night, and I was thinking like, okay, there'll be some people that I can talk to, like our age, 21, but recently being 21, you're the youngest person at the bar, and it was such a weird thing because all of them. So I ended up talking to this one girl, but she was like 28. And I was like, what the? And I felt like I got, like, taken advantage of. Probably 100% honest. I had way too many to drink because they were trying to get me, like, fucked up. Because it's my 21st celebrating. But I kind of want to talk about that culture of, like, can you tell when someone's American? When you see, like, people in Australia?
I don't know, like when I've sort of come over here and spoken to people like and said stuff, I've done a bit of travel before sort of coming here, and like when I travel, I guess sort of you get this warped idea of Americans, like the people who travel that are younger are very patriotic, very, I don't want to say obnoxious, but like very out there, very like in your face kind of thing. So you kind of get this warped idea of Americans. But then I've said to Perry a few times now, once we've come over here, like, honestly, Americans are probably the nicest people. Like, the way people have taken Perry and I into their lives and acted like we've been here the whole time. Like, we can walk into 3 or 4 different houses, not even knock the door. They say, don't knock, just come in.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, the way people are just, like, as I said, taking us into their lives and, like we've been here forever. It's been absolutely amazing. They let us use their cars. They take us around. They show us everything. And they just, like, it's almost like they're so happy to be here. So, like, my idea of Americans has totally changed, and like some of the nicest people that I've ever met, and also just I just love them. So
100%.
That's awesome.
2 of the boys have taken me back home to their houses. Actually, I went to Justin Steele's house for Thanksgiving, and then Jordan's house in the New Year. And like, I don't know about you, but like back home, if I'm an international exchange student, there like wouldn't be many opportunities where I'd be like, yeah, come to my house and stay with me for a weekend. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because like the college lifestyle is very different, like so much different to what it is back home. But like I couldn't say that I'd just be able to meet someone and within 5 or 6 weeks be like, yeah, you should come back to my house for a weekend. Yeah, so that's been really nice. Everyone's been so welcoming, which is great.
That might be, that's pretty crazy. Like for me, it's like not that, because I think I invited like Jack, right? Where it's been a while now that I've gotten to know him, but like I was like, hey, if you're not doing, because he was gonna stay home for the holidays, and that was the kind of same thing. I was like, hey, just come to my house.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like a thing that maybe like for me, it's nothing. Like it's good to hear, but it's like kind of normal. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's college life. I guess like you get thrown.
Yeah, that's also like kind of like
this kind of like this furnace of like everyone's the same age, everyone's experienced the same
everyone's
thing.
like-
So
yeah.
it's so like you don't cling on, but like you find someone that you have something in common with, and it's just so easy to like get along and just like become super close with. And I guess like when people always ask us, oh, like what brought you to UCI? I always say like, well, my first preference of UC was actually UCLA or UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
But now that I look back on it, like UCI
It's a
is
great
given,
school, huh?
it's also perfect.
What it is, it's a hidden gem of the people that are here.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it's because that's the same thing for me.
It's like everyone was spoken to.
My brother was at UCLA,
Mm-hmm.
and he was gonna be a senior, and I was gonna be a freshman. And I was like, oh, this is perfect, you know. Like I'll grow up with him, and he'll show me all the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And then a good friend of mine was coming to UCI, and it was a decision between like certain schools, but UCI, and I've always been like a surfer kind of guy. Like I love the beach, and I was like, okay, UCI. When I stepped on campus, what I fell in love with was the campus.
Yeah, it's
The
stunning.
park, how open it was. Like I'm more of a like I like the open air more than like being in the city, like congested, like in traffic. Like the roads here, it's like 7 lanes that you can drive on and like have a like it's just open space. So
100%.
when I came on campus, that's what I fell in love with. And coming to UCI and meeting the people that I've met, like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'd be able to do this anywhere else. And maybe that's like a exaggeration, but like I don't feel like UCI would. It's just I don't know. Like if they see something good, people wanna. Yeah. Come. Like I love what you're doing. Let's
do something. Yeah. 100%. I remember when I first found out I got into UCI, I was like, oh, I really wanted LA, or I really wanted LA at Berkeley. Like no insults to UCI. But I was genuinely like, damn.
We're just
like,
shitting on.
I'm sorry. But I was literally like, damn. Like I really wanted Berkeley or LA. And then I remember looking up and like, oh, like what's the nightlife like in Irvine? It's like, oh, there's nothing. You have to leave. You have to go to Newport. I'm like, oh, Newport sounds so far away. Like it sounds ridiculous. And I remember getting here. We actually met in LA for a couple of days beforehand. That was fun. That's
That's a story in
else.
itself.
We'll talk about that.
And then we came back, and then the first couple of weeks was like really quiet. So we kind of just like, oh, like we rushed Pike, and then we met everyone, and so, but we didn't really know anyone very well. So it was just literally the two of us doing everything every single day together. But then as we've like gone on, I think it's the perfect mix of like enough people that it doesn't get stale, but like enough good people that it's still fun every single time.
Yeah.
And like the group's so like the whole Greek life here, everyone's so intertwined and like friendly with one another, and you do stuff together constantly. Like the amount of times people have been like, oh, let's come to this music festival, let's do this, and you just go off and do it. Yeah. I don't think you could really get that if you went to like LA or Berkeley, for example.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for us. Like for me at least, it was like it's that perfect balance of like there's still the partying, there's still all the fun, but it's also we're both. I'm 22, Perry's 21, sort of like that. We're sort of past of just like, oh my god, go out, get smashed all the time. It's like we've actually developed relationships with people which are lifelong friendships, and it's like been really cool. It's that perfect balance of both. And like honestly, I always be like, oh, I'm not going to join Greek life. It's all like blah blah blah. But like Perry said, let's go and do it. Come along, and
go do it.
Best decision.
Yeah, 100%.
Best decision we've ever made. So.
It's the easiest way to make,
especially here
60
at UCI.
mates. Like 100%.
Especially here at UCI, like that's because there might be people listening that are like, that's not how UCI is. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? But a big thing is, or even now, I would say I'm less in Pike than I was at the beginning.
It's even from last quarter to this quarter, it's sort of similar for us.
Right, but
like,
what I realized was, I was like, wait, I'm in Pike because everyone around me that I'm living with and the guys right next to me, all of them are in Pike.
All Pike boys, yeah.
They're all Pike, and like I would tell myself like, oh, I'm not in Pike that much anymore. We're fucking throwing a party.
Yeah, exactly.
And like it's just in there, and I think if you're here at UCI, you should totally join Greek life.
100%.
Well, yeah, it's such a foreign concept to us because obviously, like back home for us in Australia, like there is no Greek life. Greek life is nothing like that. So at uni, it's actually a very like different culture from uni back home and university here.
In what ways? Can you talk a little bit more?
Well, I guess for that, it's like for me personally, I have so many other commitments and all that. Like I spend my time at university as I go to class, leave and go home. I commute in, it takes me an hour on the train. Like it's just
Well,
what
yeah,
everyone
because
does.
you guys were telling me.
Yeah,
you
everyone
guys
lives
live
at home unless you're
Oh, okay.
extremely rich or from the country
Oh, okay.
/ from a different nation. You don't live on campus basically.
Okay.
Because it's just so expensive. It's like $700 a week. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's just like we just all community, and this is what we do. It's just the culture of university
Yeah.
back home. So it's kind of like this is one of those ones like you don't make. I personally haven't made a lot of friends. I probably could count on one hand how many friends I have at university.
Yeah, honestly.
And you just sort of have your friendships from other commitments like sport or high school or anything else sort of thing. So the idea of Greek life when I came over was like, oh, that's a lot. Like you sort of basing it off movies that you've seen and all that. But
that's not a very good indicator.
So it's kind of like I was a bit like hesitant. But like
what's the movie you guys based it off? Like
mine was Blue Mountain State. Was the only thing I'd seen beforehand, and I was like, that looks intense. That looks nuts.
I can't even remember. Probably like Blue Mountain State's similar to me. Like I watched a bit of that, but
that's funny.
I just even like American Pie, like the college lifestyle, all that sort of stuff. But so coming over, I was a bit like, I don't know about that. But then now that I've done it, like take away the parties, like the whole concept of like Greek life is so much deeper than that, and it's really cool. Like you have, as you said, you got like 60 brothers or like 60 mates that you can rely on and that will help you out just because you've got this common thing together. And it's like it extends past just your college life. It's like you can get jobs from it, you can get all sorts of stuff, which is like really, really cool. And then on top of it, you're gonna have a good time when you're at college. So it's like you definitely can't complain. There's so many positives to it, and I can't really think of any negatives. So
well, I don't know what kind of pledgeship you guys went through.
Ours was interesting for us.
I feel like we got off pretty well.
We got off very, very
pretty easy.
when you come as you guys came in older too.
Yeah.
So there's this level of like respect because it's like peer, But you come in as a freshman, there's for sure you have to fight through the fucking the painful, shitty stuff that you have to go through at the beginning.
Cleaning up after Costa Mesa. Yeah.
Not like that, dude. They had us doing because this is when Max was even like he was a third year, and these were like because when you come in, this is the frat culture where you come in and you see these guys as like, whoa, like we had Damien. Have you guys ever met Damien?
No.
So Damien was like the pike of the pike. Shout out to Damien. That guy's coming on soon. That guy's. I still think of him as like the coolest fucking guy ever. Like he's the one that he gave me like the greatest pitch for Pike.
Yeah.
Like I heard him talking to every other person. Like, oh yeah, we're 4 point, like we got the highest GPA, like we do all this kind of stuff. And then he comes to me and he goes, you seem like a smart guy. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so let me be honest. And I was like, okay. He's like, every sorority loves us. All the girls love us. Like, you want to know how? And then he started talking about that, and I was like, I'm fucking convinced.
I mean,
went to the first party, had a fucking great time, and I was like, you know what? Maybe not the best reason to join, but after that and going through it, they had us, like the guys I live with now, like we have so many memories of first year and all the stupid shit we did, and it comes up sometimes, but now I see them as, it's so weird, but I see them as brothers.
Yeah, 100%. That's very true. Diggle got a tattoo during his pledgeship as well. Could have bring that one up.
I didn't know such thing. I know what you guys talking about.
And an ear piercing.
Yeah, and an ear piercing.
No, but it's really nice. Like, for me and for Chris as well, because we're 21, like you said, there's a bit more leniency, and we got away with a bit more stuff. But I thought at the start, I was like, oh, it's like a bunch of 18-year-old dudes, and we're 21, 22, 21 at the time. I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting to see how it goes. And you do so much together. So many of the boys now, like, great mates of mine. Like, guys that I want to come visit in the future, and I want them to come visit me back home. And I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to just, especially, like, seeing, like, the relationship between some, like, the second and the fourth years. Like, guys, like, back home, if you were a second year at university, you really wouldn't have any contact with anyone in the grade above or beneath you, unless the person above you had failed a class or had, like...
Yeah, literally.
Or the person above had failed a class or just like deferred a class, they'd gone away or something like that, and you'd have no overlap at all. Yeah. So I think it's really cool. You got like 18-year-old blokes who obviously like don't know what they're not don't know what they're doing, but just like it's a new foreign thing for them to be on campus. Having these guys who are 4 years older than them to be like mentors for them, it's really cool. Yeah, I really like that aspect of it.
Absolutely, that's so interesting. That you guys, that the culture's so different, university-wise.
Yeah.
From your guys' university there.
Yeah, I guess you just sort of like it's just
just
so normal for us. Like
Yeah.
you
No,
just,
that's
you just stay
but like
home.
when I'm hearing you guys, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just different because here commuting is seen as like no one really commutes.
Yeah.
You know? But like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's different for sure.
Yeah, it's like for us, like Chris was saying, you've got so many commitments. Like we're both juggling practically full-time jobs back home, both playing sport, both going to see our friends, and then for me, I'll squeeze my 4 discussions into one day on Friday, so Friday off basically. And then I'll go in for 4 hours, I get out, I watch my lectures back online on the weekend, just rewatch them, and then that's the extent of my uni degree basically.
I guess the way I put it to people is sort of like university is just sort of like is part of our lives. It's just like one little thing in our lives back home.
Okay.
Whereas like I feel like over here at college
It's
is your life.
Yeah.
Like you have 4 years where it's devoted to college.
That's facts.
You enjoy it. You immerse yourself in it, and you sort of live your best college life. Whereas for us, uni is just another slice of the pie sort of thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way I've sort of described it. I've got all my other commitments, and then you just do uni because like that's uni.
Yeah.
And you just got to get it done. So I guess like I honestly would love for it to be more like in America and like the culture of like you actually get to enjoy it. You have friends and you have lifelong friends, and like you'll probably all move away and get different jobs, but you've still got that 4 years when you're growing up, when you're becoming who you are, and you're just like it's like it's really cool.
That's,
So.
You made me make like that makes sense. Then.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so it's kind of like I don't know. Yeah, that's the best way to
I
describe
guess that's
it.
part of the reason why I came over here as well. Just
To enjoy it.
all my friends had come.
Weren't you gonna leave?
I was supposed to leave in winter, yeah.
I remember I was there the night we were going out that one time. I don't know if
Oh yeah,
Remember-
Max's.
remember?
Yeah.
yeah, and Chris, it was like Chris's last time at Sharky's or something.
Yeah.
That thing. And I remember you were talking about you were gonna leave.
Yeah, I was.
What's the reason? What's the reason you stayed? Other than this guy.
Like for me, 10 weeks was not enough. And he said at the start, he's like, "You're gonna extend." I'm like, "Nah, I've got to get back at work. I've got uni I've got to do. Like, got to get everything out of the way." He's like, "Nah, you'll extend. Trust me." And then like week 6, like, "I got to extend. I got to extend." Because like, finally made all the close mates towards the end of last quarter. Like I've become close to people, but like they weren't like best great mates yet. And then towards the end, we started to meet guys who like both of us has got on so well with. And for me especially, I was like, damn, like I'd rather stay an extra quarter here and enjoy myself before I go back, and just kind of solidify the fact that instead of just being guys I met overseas or girls I met overseas and being like, yeah, they're really good friends of mine now, like by the end of this, I have like best mates overseas, which is really nice, and I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm glad I did it.
I guess for me it's like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah,
like
for
why waste it sort of thing. It's like make it last as long as you can. Like we've got our whole lives to work and do everything, so you might as well take your time, enjoy it whilst we can. And like,
That's a very American way to think.
what do you mean?
Because that's what we think.
Uh-huh.
Like when we go to college, it's like, fuck, this is a once in a lifetime
Yeah,
like moment where we can fucking just,
go nuts.
you know, like where it's college is our life, you know, where we get to fuck it, just enjoy it, do all the stupid shit.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's
But
very
yeah,
fair.
we've packed a fair bit of mischief in 2 quarters, I think.
Yeah,
So,
we've done well for ourselves. Wouldn't have it any other way, actually.
That's awesome. Okay, let's jump into that LA story.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
the first time I met Chris. So,
Okay, so you guys didn't come together.
no.
no, so we actually didn't know each other. So the only time we'd sort of spoken is via Facebook.
Yeah.
Barry found Emma. Shout out to Emma, the other Australian girl from Melbourne.
Yes, I remember she used my bathroom the first party. That's the first. It was,
Shout out to Emma.
everyone's gone.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, hey, can I use your bathroom? And we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
how we met.
Perry found Emma looking for accommodation online,
Yeah.
just on the UC housing page. We're all trying to save some money, get off campus stuff. And then we just started up a group chat of all the Australians coming over, just so we sort of had a familiar face of that, like that tighter home, which you always sort of need when you're away for a long time.
Yeah.
So we didn't know each other, but very, very glad I met him. Just sort
Yeah.
of being able to obviously make that sort of like little tighter home, which is always easy, and just like be yourself around.
It was nice in the first couple of weeks for sure, having someone from home.
Yeah.
We all went to LA beforehand, and he didn't have internet at this point because he just landed. I've been Hawaii and New York, so I had a SIM, and so I went to the wrong hostel in LA originally, And so I get there, I'm like, damn, like where
The wrong what?
the wrong hostel.
That's like a home.
Motel.
Cheap hotel.
Cheap
It's for
hotel.
like
Cheap hotel.
young travellers.
Yeah.
Something, and it's
Okay,
like,
okay.
yeah.
So I'm in West Hollywood. I'm like, damn, like this is the wrong one. The banana bungalow, I think. So I'm at the wrong one. And I'm like, damn, I get another Uber. So Uber across, and I get there, and I'm trying to punch in because the lady, like, there was like a sign like punch in. It wasn't working, so I was like rapping on the door, and then I finally get let in, and I put my stuff down, and I'm like trying to text Chris. I'm like where? Like I was like, I'm just got here, like. I'll be here soon. I'm just gonna put my stuff down. Like 5 minutes later, like, where are you? And then I'm sitting down, and I like look out the window, and I see this like lint of red hair in the sunlight lying backwards on a bench. So I walk out. And he's got his sunnies on, lying there like cross-legged, like he's like in a coffin. And like, oh hi Chris, like I'm Perry, nice to meet you. He just sits there and goes, oh. And we're just in like terrible place. And the story behind it's pretty funny actually.
Yeah, so I got to LA, landed at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, got myself a lift, I think it was, save a bit of money, get out to the hostel, just chilling, put all my stuff down, gets about dinner time, just going out to get myself dinner. It was just on my own, so I was like, oh, whatever, let's get something nice, have an early night, meet up with Perry and Emma the next day, and like we'll be able to explore. Walking down the street and just looking at my phone, just doing what you do, like as us millennials are, and then I accidentally bump into this guy. It's this short, kind of stocky black dude and his friend. Yeah. And I go, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just looking at my phone, my bad. And then he goes, oh, you from Australia? I was like, yeah, I am. Like, good guess. And we sort of start chatting, and he's like, oh, what are you up to? I'm like, oh, I'm just getting some dinner. He's like, oh, we are too. Do you want to tag along? So we go and get some pizza. We're just chatting, get along pretty well. Turns out this guy's Floyd Mayweather's younger cousin. So I'm a bit shocked as it is, and then we're getting along, whatever. He goes, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, I was going to have an early night, just like a bit jet lagged, whatever. He's like, no, don't do that. Like, come out with us. It's like, oh, all right, no worries. So go home, get changed. We go back to his place. He's still a college student. He's on a sort of reality TV show, nothing special. He's trying to be Instagram famous, but he's not a huge deal as it is yet. And go back to his place. It's pretty nice still. All these people come over and they're dressed in bougie ass clothes. I'm like, God, I'm in over my head here. Yeah. All of a sudden, we get in an Uber. We go
wait. What a fucking beginning to
It gets better as well. So get in an Uber after we've been drinking. I haven't paid for anything at all yet. So I'm over the moon so far. Like, how good's LA? And then all of a sudden, we get out to this club, and I see on this like sign at the front, $30 cover charge. I'm like, no chance. I'm not paying $30. And all of a sudden, this guy goes up, dabs up the bouncer, and goes, oh yeah, they're with me. I'm like, all right, how good's this? We go in, I pay for one drink, and then the rest of the night drinks are free. We go to like 2 or 3 different bars. They go up and know all the owners, still not paying for any drinks. Then end of night comes, it gets about 1 o'clock, and we go to this bar, which is closed. Like all the lights are off, closed, doors are locked. He gets on the phone, calls up his mate, and they open the doors. It's the owner of these like real fancy club in LA. I can't remember what it's called. And we go out the back, and it's this massive after party with all these people. I don't know if they're famous or not, but they look famous, the way they're dressed and the money that's sort of floating around in the room. And all of a sudden, you know how it is, and when rich people are around, the other stuff sort of comes out.
Got you. I got you.
So all of a sudden, I've had this whole night of drinking, whole night of some other stuff. It gets to like 4 a.m. No idea where I am anymore.
Fuck.
We get in an Uber. I pay for this one. It's the first thing I pay for all night. Get back to his place. I sleep on the couch, whatever. And then, wake up the next morning, get back to the hostel, and I'm just thinking, how good's LA? what an adventure. So,
what a night.
Yeah, that's my introduction to LA, and I thought, how good's this going to be? And then Perry comes out and telling the story, and he's like, should have come a night earlier.
Should have come earlier.
But yeah. So.
Is that why you were...
Yeah, he was just dead. Like, he's in the sunlight just trying to absorb as much like vitamin C as possible. Vitamin D. He's just trying to recover. Like, it was just a very funny first impression of Chris. Like, oh, well, interesting. Like, this is going to be an interesting guy. Let's see how this goes.
For sure. Wow, what a fucking night. That's awesome.
What an introduction to LA. So, introduction to California. So, I definitely can't complain. That was a good first night, and then it's only gotten better since. So,
yeah, we've done a lot. We've got to do more mimosa brunches. Do you go mimosa brunch around here often?
No, so I just turned 21. So
oh yeah, true.
Kind of
that's fun. That stuff's really fun.
That's kind of the stuff I want to start doing.
Yeah, that's really good. We've had some big days out on that. I don't know what else. We've gone to a few music festivals together, which has been really good.
Nice.
It's a good way to get to know someone. Just drinking with them all weekend long and going to see some good acts. Went up to Snow Globe, which was a fun one. That was fun one. That was a really fun one. We're actually going to travel after this down to South America together. Still, wait and see.
You guys know where specifically you guys want to go to?
Yeah, I'm trying to do as much as I can. So I got once I finish here in March, so after the sort of finals are done, we go to Coachella, and then that's sort of our visa runs out, so we got to get out unless we extend. So I've just got until the end of sort of mid-April until July when I've got to be back at school in Melbourne. So I've got about 2.5, 3 months where I just got to myself. So I'm just going to do as much travel as I can. So go through Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, if it's safe enough by then, sort of thing. Costa Rica, Panama.
Awesome.
And then sort of venture down to sort of South America, Colombia, Belize. I think Belize might be central actually, but like, yeah, wherever it is, sort of just keep going down, and then sort of I think the end will be Chile. But money's sort of the only issue at the moment.
Money's a big issue.
We've been flying through that over here, so just do as much as I can. Got the time, as I said. I'm on this side of the world. Love to travel, so it's sort of the goal.
That's cool.
Yeah. You travel much?
I've been to Paris. So been in Paris, Mexico. That's like my biggest things. It's just like being in California.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to Miami on the 20th to celebrate my 21st. Just more and more. It's like a whole
keep
month.
on going. It's a month thing. Yeah.
It's a month
100%.
thing.
Gotta go do it.
It was on Super Bowl. That's when my birthday was.
Oh, okay.
So
you don't even really get to celebrate too much.
Then, And this past weekend celebrated, and now Valentine's Day party is gonna be a nice celebration as well. But I'm gonna go to Miami. My brother, like I said, lives out there. Should be a lot of fun.
That'd be
We're
good.
trying to get a boat. Good time.
That'd be really good fun. Yeah. It's funny, like back home we have like
might see some of that stuff. That's a joke.
Back home we like most people have big-ish parties for their 21st. Whereas here no one really throws a big party because I guess you're not living at home, so it's very hard to do that. But yeah, everyone just seems to just jet off like Vegas or Miami or go up to LA for
it's
the
usually
weekend.
like you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I was gonna do Vegas, but Miami seemed like
Maybe that's fun. It'd be good.
It's
fun.
gonna be nice and sunny. It just seems like a place I'd want to go to.
100%.
Hopefully, I see Floyd Mayweather. I don't know. What a crazy story.
Yeah, literally. It was welcome to America.
We have this that we formulated. These are all the Aussie slang words and the American equivalents.
Yeah, let's do that.
So these are them here. These are all the different ones. If you see anything, just ask and we'll explain.
Right off the bat, fair
dinkum.
Fair dinkum, yeah.
Fair dinkum. So we're doing a Aussie slang. So good day, would it be G day or
G'day?
Yeah, g'day.
G'day, yeah.
Okay, g'day.
Hooroo.
That's an old one, hooroo.
It's a real old one. So like when you sort of, when you say goodbye to your grandparents, they always stand there and wave until you like get out of sight. So they'll like stand there and be like hooroo, hooroo. So it's basically goodbye, really. So
you said that's a little bit older though?
Yeah, it's for the older generation, definitely.
Okay.
I can't remember last time I said hooroo.
Fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum. Yeah, that one's like when it's like when you come up in conversations, like you say you do something, no way, fair dinkum, like kind of like good on you, or kind of like like a no way type thing.
Okay.
It's a really hard one to pin down. It's a very
my way of explaining it's sort of like, oh yeah, too right sort of thing. Like it's like, oh yeah, that's fair enough sort of thing.
Too what?
Too right? No, you don't get that one either. Damn, I thought that was a good way of defining it.
Like no way type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no way. That way as well.
Let's see. I like the trackies.
Trackies is a good one.
That's sweatpants. That should be a thing.
Yeah.
Trackies. That was always weird. I saw that Margot Robbie. Great person.
Best Australian export.
Great personality.
She
was explaining like the thongs.
Thongs, yeah, they're flip flops.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
The other one's rubber. So rubber back home is an eraser. But I asked people for a rubber over here, and they're just like, huh? What? And it didn't click with me that a rubber's not actually a razor over here.
Do you guys have Outbacks over there? No, that's not a thing.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not much anymore. Yeah.
Outbacks are very old school. They're more in the country sort of farm sort of thing. But no, we don't. I definitely don't have one at my house.
There's still people who like muster and bushwhack and stuff like that, which is like they drive cattle across large periods of like plains because they're trying to get them to like more fertile pastures towards the end of each year. Like whenever the rainy season comes, they follow the river basically. It's a big thing for actually a few bars in my year did. It's mustering where they basically horseback ride for 3 months and just drive sheep and cattle off.
This is so bad. I was talking about Outback, the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what. Oh, I thought you were talking about like an Outback toilet.
I thought you were talking about the Outback, like the Outback, like the country.
We've all got different things. The Outback's like, there's an Outback which is like a toilet out the back of your house. So it's like, instead of being a toilet attached to your house, there's an Outback toilet. So that's what I thought you were talking about. I was like, yeah, that's not very common
and
anymore.
You're talking about the actual Outback.
The Outback, yeah.
I was talking about the restaurant. This Outback Steakhouse.
Nah,
I've seen it. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, unlock.
Yeah, sure thing. There you go.
Thanks. I like this. This is funny.
Larrikin.
Larrikin. It's like a class clown type thing.
Oh,
If someone's saying I'm a larrikin, they're just like a
Oh, this one's perfect.
clown.
Macca's.
Macca's is McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
So they've actually changed a lot of the McDonald's back home to actually just saying Macca's now. Like in
Really?
Bondi Beach, Coogee, all them, like Woolloomooloo and all that. They're all different like suburbs in Sydney. Woolloomooloo, weird names, but they've all got Macca's signs now up there.
Nice.
Because we kind of just adopted
Do
it.
you guys call it Mickey D's when you're here now?
No.
That's cool.
I call it
Macca's
Macca's.
still, yeah.
You still say Macca's?
Yeah.
100%.
For sure, people when they're drunk and you guys need to go like get food after, you guys say Macca's, they're probably like, "What the fuck?" Are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I feel the people started to pick up on it.
They start to understand.
My closest friends sort of know now, but at the start it was kind of like, what are you guys saying?
A good one is like we say reckon a lot, so like I reckon we should do this,
Okay.
and people are starting to pick up on that, which is nice. That's funny.
Or are people saying it?
Yeah, like Jordan's saying it, Sandro's saying it, but like I'm not sure if that's just taking the piss or is actually like starting to adopt into his vocabulary. But that's a funny one to see people say to steer as well.
I heard you say taking a piss, and I saw that right now.
Taking the piss is like joking.
Yeah. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. It's like middle of nowhere. Like I was at a whoop whoop last night. Just have no idea where you were.
Okay.
No civilization really.
That was you. You're in a whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop in LA.
Night.
Kinda. Whoop's more like the country, so you're like out in Whoop.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like you're out in the middle of nowhere sort of thing. So you're like, I don't know, you go down a Joshua Tree and you're in the middle of Whoop.
This one's bad. Has Chris ever cut your lunch?
Cut my lunch. So we say cut my grass in Sydney, but cut your lunch.
No, I haven't cut his lunch.
No, he
Yeah,
hasn't.
yeah.
He hasn't.
That means that someone takes your girl. We're not here to.
Are we allowed to say that, are we?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you can say.
We're not here to fuck spiders.
Yeah.
It's just basically, I don't even really know how to explain it. It's like,
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Of course we're doing it. Like, we're not going to fuck spiders. We're going to get this done.
we're not mucking around. Like, it's,
Yeah.
we're here to have a crack. We have a crack.
That's funny.
We're not here to fuck spiders in America. I say that
Like-
for free.
I like how I didn't even have to finish it.
The other one's, you give something a good fair shake at the sauce bottle. So that one is when you're trying to get the last bit of tomato sauce out, which is ketchup. Tomato sauce out. You're giving it like a shake. You're trying to get that last bit out. So you give something a good crack, basically. So you're giving something a fair shake.
Nice.
That's what that means. And then another one's a goon sack. That's
Yeah, I saw
Wine
that.
bag.
Goon sack.
Yes, instead of slap the wine bag, slap the goonie.
it's not the goonie, rolls off the tongue.
I like these. These are funny. An Arvo. Like I feel like some of these are just like more efficient.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's straight.
Service station is servo. Afternoon is arvo.
Mosquitoes, Mozzie.
The press.
Prees, that's a pre-game.
Prees.
And then
Yeah.
kick-ons is post-game.
What else is there? The like liquor store is the bottle-o.
Bottle's a good one.
Yeah.
Esky,
What's that?
cooler box. You guys call it cooler boxes, I think?
Oh, that like icebox. kind of
Icebox,
thing?
yeah. We call them Eskies.
Yes.
And Utes pickup truck. Just, we really like to just get down to one syllable. And
Literally.
that's as good as we're going to get.
That's fun.
I'm actually curious to see, how's your Aussie accent? We like to ask people.
Let's see. I'm trying to channel some. Or like what's something I could say that like would be able to show it off. Or
G'day, mate. How you going?
One more time.
G'day, mate. How you going?
G'day, mate. How you doing?
Not bad. That's not bad, honestly. We've had some atrocious ones over here. I'll tell you that for free.
One more time. Let me see. Okay.
G'day, mate. How you going?
How you going?
How you going?
G'day, mate. How you doing? How you going? How you going?
It's not bad.
It's not bad, yeah.
Not terrible. I was hoping for worse. It would have been funnier. But
Yeah. No.
it's pretty funny. Like most people, and they sort of hear our accent. It's died down, obviously, now.
Yeah.
And most people sort of know us. But at the start, everyone would always sort of try and copy our accent a little bit. And like it was always.
What I love is the that little chant, the Aussie.
Oh, yeah, that
I
one.
fucking love that.
That's everywhere. Every sporting match we got that going.
Yeah, I love that so much. That was my first impression, and I was like, I always thought like, and this might be true, like Australian people were like, kind of like, oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. I feel like Australians, like I feel like if we had a party with Mexicans and Australians, it would be a fucking great party. Like I kid you not, I feel like it'd go on for like a day of just having a good time, because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you guys like from that chant and like the kind of vibe, I feel like it'd be fun. Like it'd be a good time. Like you guys know how to have a good time, and
100%.
I
think so as well. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was fun in Mexico. It was good. I had a great couple of nights out in Mexico. That was really nice. Just going out with locals.
I know some places if you guys want to go.
I'm down.
Puerto Vallarta.
Where?
It's Puerto Vallarta.
Where's that?
It's Gulf of Mexico on this side. Like it's actually like super close to Guadalajara.
Oh really? Okay.
It's like Cancun, but I think it's nicer. It's like really really nice. Puerto Vallarta. You guys should totally check it out. Very touristy, but the clubs there are like
good fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the girls that you're gonna meet are it's insane. Very beautiful. How do you guys like the Latino women
See, it's interesting because we don't have
ladies.
any
types?
No, not in types. We don't have any like Latin women back home. Latin anyone really, because it's not. We have a lot of like Southeast Asians, and then up to like India, China. That's a pretty big part of our multicultural, like multicultural back in Australia. But it's just, I don't know. It's girls. They're attractive. They're very attractive.
So you haven't really like met any?
No, we've met a few. We've met a few.
Yeah, definitely
for sure.
met a few, but like, yeah, like much of a muchness, like,
Nice.
yeah.
All girls are attractive.
So you guys don't have a type.
Know what they look like. It's the personality inside that matters.
There you go.
I don't really have a type. Do you have a type?
You have a type?
I've got a type. Perry's just taking the piss here. He's trying to wind me up now. Yeah, no, I've got a type.
Let's talk about it. You guys don't want to talk about girls, or?
I'll talk about it if you don't talk about it. I'd get in, get your first word in.
Oh, I don't know. I've got a type, and it makes it easier. To like whatever. Just sort of dark hair, dark features seems to be what I go for.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a type, I'd say. Just someone to have fun with, I guess. That's the main thing. If I can.
Very political answer right now. just in case any of the girls are listening.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I would have a type though. Would you say?
Probably not, to be honest. No.
Yeah. No, not really. Oh, do you?
Some of the biggest, and I've talked about this like maybe like a billion times in my life, but my biggest thing is just curly hair. Curly hair grows for some reason.
My ex-girlfriend had really curly hair.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is, but that will put you over the top for me. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
See, I do have a thing for nose rings actually. I find nose rings really attractive.
This is where it starts to come out. There
we go. That's one.
Every girl watching now is like.
Very wishes.
No, I do find nose rings attractive actually. That was a weird one because I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Everyone's
I don't know. It's kind of one of those ones you don't know why. You don't know why.
No idea why, but it's
just like,
attractive.
just what you sort of what you find attractive.
Is
But
it-
like as Perry said, it's like it's definitely more than just like cool. You're
Yeah,
gonna
of
be
course.
attractive, but like if you can't have fun with him, like
Yeah, of course.
point sort of thing. So,
But there's nothing small like that. Like for me, it'd be the curly hair. Where like you would be like a nose ring.
Nose ring, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because back home, a lot of the girls are like tan, blonde, or like light brunette hairs. And like we don't have a very big like Latino culture or like African culture or like anything like that back home, I'd say. So I think a lot of the girls back home are just literally just like beach girls basically. That's how to describe Australian girls to a T, I
Like
guess.
Margot Robbie.
yeah, kind of true. Like just
Kind of like
Pretty-
that's.
tallish, blonde, tan. That's a bit of a generalization,
I
but
was gonna
just
say
like
we're definitely
I'm sure.
we're generalizing a large population to a very small group.
yeah.
But I don't know. Like it's like I don't even know what to say. To be honest.
Yeah, it's weird.
He's lost for words. He's like,
Yeah.
that's funny. No, like I'm sure they know too that we're generalizing, like for sure.
I think that is a bit of a generalization about Australia.
Huge generalization.
And I just compounded it just a little bit more as well.
That's funny.
Wow.
So how would you describe it then? So I'm guessing there's just. I mean, that's every place though. But
Yeah.
I think it's very similar. Like in terms of like
except California. California's a weird place because it's for everything. Everyone's here.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I guess for like in terms of like aesthetics, everyone sort of like it's like back home. There's multiple different cultures. There's everything sort of you get best of everything sort of thing. But it's kind of like I think the biggest difference is sort of maybe the friendship level you have with girls back home. Like a lot of my like closest group of friends are girls. It's just because that's sort of how it is. Like you're a lot like I personally am a lot closer with girls back home than I have been over here in terms of like, just like friendships. I don't know if that's difference in American culture or just like what's sort of eventuated. I don't know. It's kind of like I guess that's the biggest difference for me. It's kind of like I'd say 5 of my closest 10 friends are all girls.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
Yeah. It's funny, like I've just got like a really close group of guy mates back home. I don't know, we don't really have many girlfriends who are really tight with our group. We've got a lot of friends who like it's in Sydney especially, like because like the nature of where I went to high school, stuff like that, like all boys school. So I hang out with all the boys, and then there's a sisters girls school, and there's another sister girls school, another just like brother boys school type thing. And so it's like a big group of like 100 of us from just like all different schools around, who all just do everything together, hang out. You see each other every single weekend, or every couple of weekend at least. But I'd say I've actually been closer with girls over here than back home.
there you go. Just different.
Yeah,
differences,
Just
I guess.
changes. Yeah,
that's
I guess like
Interesting.
I went to a high school with guys and girls, so a lot of
okay.
my close friends have sort of developed from high school through that. And yeah, maybe like having a relationship for so long, you just become friends because you become friends. You can't obviously nothing else is going to happen.
Shit,
So
I feel like that's a little hidden thing that we keep hinting at and we haven't talked about.
the long-term girlfriends.
Let's just scratch it off. Let's just fucking get it over with.
Yeah, okay.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to talk.
Yeah,
about
so I dated my ex-girlfriend for 4 and a bit years. We dated in like
Well, this is the kind of you guys are gonna be disappointed with mine. Keep going.
and we just from I think it was end of year 11 through till 3rd year, so last year we just dated. Lived 10 minutes away from me and just was very like ingrained in the friendship group type thing.
Okay.
And we broke up. I think it was October 2018, roughly.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Should be impressed with you.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
I was the same. So I spent 4.5 years with Liv, my ex-girlfriend. Went to high school together. We're just super close friends, and then one time we sort of caught up, and sort of more came of it. Only reason we sort of broke up is because I came on exchange and she went on exchange to Spain. So still got not a bad word to say about her. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those ones. It's just sort of was just part of my life for so long. Like I had my own life, but she was just part of it. She would always come along to my friendship group. She was always welcome. It was also like that. So yeah, I guess that's kind of shaped me who I am today. It's sort of all about sort of having fun with the people I'm with, and then anything more than that is, as I said, happy days. But like, yeah, so I've always sort of had that person, I guess. I don't know, I spoke to my sister about it when she came over and visited. It's just like having that one person you can always sort of rely on, be yourself with, and it's like a really cool thing to have. And like, I don't know, like she'll always be a huge part of my life, like probably my first real love sort of thing. So
Yeah.
as I said, can't say a bad word about her, and like only good things. So lots of happy, fun memories. Did a lot of travel together. Did a lot of exciting stuff. A lot of firsts, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think it's an important thing to have at a young age. Sort of know that I can be myself as myself, but also share my life with someone else, which is really cool. So yeah,
That's awesome.
what about you?
What about you? Your turn.
That's so like such a positive way of thinking.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, I mean, there's nothing. I like the podcast that's coming out. I had talked about it already, but now with the time that goes, it was kind of recent. It's,
Always hurts, no matter
yeah,
no matter how recent, how long it's been.
yeah.
So.
Only a year, but it was the first time. Like you said, the first time I ever like fully kind of went all out.
Yeah.
Like first love kind of thing. Where like before I never thought it was even possible. I didn't think it, like, to me it was such an abstract concept and like such a far reaching thing to be like, oh, like how can you be like that with someone that's not in your family? Because my biggest thing is like the people in my family, like I love them so much, and like how can you be with someone and be that invested? And then it happened, and then when it ended, and I mean, for a while I think I was mad just to be mad, because I thought that's the way you get over it. You're just trying to be mad at the person, hate the person for like certain reasons, you know. But yeah, I've never said it, but yeah, I can't say, when I look back at it, I can't really say anything bad about it, because she was great.
It's a sign of a good relationship, that is.
Yeah. It was super fun. Very learned a lot. Yeah, probably cutting all this out.
And the magic of editing.
Yeah, I don't know. She just became like really intertwined in my life. And maybe you guys just took it so well. Is that like an Australian thing? You guys...
I've had a lot of time to deal with it. Like,
okay.
when I broke up with my ex, I literally didn't speak to anyone.
It's fucking devastating.
Yeah,
man.
dude, I was crushed. Even though I broke up with her, I was crushed. And like,
It's fucking...
yeah.
Something about it. Yours is the most recent, huh? No, actually, I think we're...
Yeah, so mine happened about a month and a half before I came over. So I was fortunate and unfortunate at the same time. So it's sort of, we both knew we were doing this, our own sort of life experience, going over doing what we were going to do. And we said we're going to try and stay together, like let's give it a go. And then she left a month earlier. She was overseas, and she came to the decision that she couldn't do this anymore. Completely respect everything she had to say and all that. Obviously being back home, it made it pretty hard, but it also made it easier in the sense that I wasn't bumping into her. I wasn't seeing her every day anyway, and it wasn't just all of a sudden just click the fingers and cut her off. It was, I already didn't see her for 3 weeks in a row, so all of a sudden when I didn't see her and we were broken up, the next week it was just kind of like, oh, nothing's changed that much, or we just don't talk as much. And like I was absolutely devastated. Like, can't even describe like how devastated I was, but that also made it easy. And I had 2 of my closest friends who were amazing to me and helped me through it, which I guess is a huge thing.
Super big thing, yeah.
Yeah, like obviously everyone goes through tough things in life. As long as you don't do it on your own, you've got someone to help you through it. Just be there and listen, all that sort of stuff. Everything just seems a lot easier. So obviously it sucked, but I guess I was fortunate in the sense I didn't have to like deal with that every day. Oh, I want to see her but I can't see her. So
this is like the most, like, I don't know. It's such a weird, I don't know if this is a thing, but like this is the first time like people have been like open and like talking about it. Because like with me and my friends, it's like maybe it's a thing, or maybe I haven't really sat down and talked to them about it a little bit more now. Maybe it's just me. Like I haven't really opened up talking about it. But yeah, it feels nice. Like you guys just like knowing that it fucking sucks.
Yeah, dude.
Like knowing 100%. Just hearing that and knowing that it wasn't just me by myself. Like fuck shit.
Yeah,
like hearing that like other people like it's just it's a thing that like. But wait, I feel like you're older than us. That's why I keep looking at you.
I don't know. Like I think when it comes to that sort of stuff, like I'm really passionate. So like I ran for Pike last quarter. I ran Movember, which is men's mental health.
We should probably talk about that too.
And I think I'm very open about sort of talking about my feelings, talking about all that sort of stuff. And I'm pretty happy to sort of say that I went through a struggle with some mental health stuff, and I think the only way I sort of got through it was having two of my closest friends and my sister, who was just there. They just let me speak. They just let me be me. They didn't try and fix anything. They were just there. So I'm very sort of open talking about my feelings. I think the masculine culture needs to change, and we need to do that more and more.
It's fucking changing right now. I'm actually going to talk about this shit now.
Yeah. So I think I was really proud of myself and Perry for being able to bring Movember over. And whether or not we raised that much money, which we were able to raise nearly $2,000.
Yeah, I got into that.
Yeah,
it's because when you came in, and regardless, like I didn't know how old you really were. Like when you came in, like all I saw.
I thought I was 25 or something.
No.
With the mustache.
No. All I saw was a pledge. You know, because I mean, some freshmen come in fucking sassed up beard.
Yeah.
Right? So when you came in, I was like, oh, he's a pledge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you came in, you made the speech you made for Movember. I remember just looking over to like my friends, and I was like, we have to fucking do this. You know, like what you talked about, and you can share it if you want to share it. But like my cousin had like he's in Mexico, so we only have one first cousin that lives here in like the United States.
Yeah. But
like a cousin that I grew up with for like the longest time, he's really young, like way younger than I was. I was at the Arc one day, and I get this call from my dad, and it was really random. It was like late at night, really random call, and I put it away, and I was like, I'm gonna finish my workout, right? Didn't think anything of it, but I had this like gut feeling that I have to answer this call. So I stop my workout, I go over, and I answer I call my dad, and then he just lays the craziest, most shocking news. My cousin was going through a lot of things, and I think he was maybe like 14. Was going through a lot of things, and he told me that there's this night, and he ended up like killing himself. And when I heard that, it sounded so fake, and it was the most devastating thing. But being at the Arc, I felt like I was alone in that moment, and I remember it was just to relate it back. Like I won't talk about that moment so much. It was just devastating. But when you were talking about and you made that speech about Movember and like the reason why you wanted to do it and the whole reason behind it, it made me think of that, and I was like, okay, this small thing that I could do growing out.
Shitty mustache. That really probably doesn't look good, and I've still done it. Keep it for some silly reason, but
it was this like the meaning behind it, and I was all for it. And that's the first moment I was like, you know what? I like this guy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know. Like for me, it's like I think Perry and I went around to all the sororities and we sat in front of Pike and stuff. I think the mustache is putting a face on something which is so evil and so insidious, which is just hidden amongst guys because they won't talk about it. And yeah, as I said, like I feel like most people are going to go through a struggle in their life, and they just need to be able to open up and talk to someone, because I tell you what, nothing is that bad. Like I had a couple of guys I played football with, close enough friends with them, not like my closest group, but I remember them coming in one day and we could just tell something was up. And it was after Australia Day, which is a day where you spend a lot of time with your friends, like mostly for us, for me at least, it's like with your guy mates. And one of their friends spent the whole day with him, left a little bit early, and then got a phone call from their parents, and he'd taken his own life that same day. And I saw the way it crushed an entire friendship group.
Yeah.
And I just sort of said, if there's ever anything I can do, if I can help one person by raising money, whether I can start a conversation, I think that's what I'm most proud of Perry and I, that hopefully next year Pike does the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's not about the money raised, because $2,000 in the grand scheme of things probably doesn't do that much.
Mm-hmm.
But the conversation amongst young men hopefully changes many, many, many lives. So, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
I tried doing my... I don't know, like, it was always a thing in the back of my head, right? Like, the importance of that.
Mm-hmm.
But after doing that, and then a few months later going through what I went through with the breakup and everything, and being actually in that kind of mental state, and I was like, oh my God. And the only way I was able to get out was with my family, my friends, and the importance of having that.
Yeah.
I kind of took a little bit more, like one of the podcasts, I brought in a therapist, and that's all we talked about.
Yeah. For
an hour, 30 minutes of just pure, like, her kind of take on, like, mental health and depression, and like that's my way of, like, maybe that helped.
Oh, well, I think I still remember I did it, so I do it every year. This is my 4th year doing it now, and I still remember I had a bit of a sort of like a shave off party like we did for Pike this year, but I did it in my house last year. And I remember one of my friends coming up to me afterwards, and he's like, I'm close enough with him, but he's not like my closest friend. He's just in our group. And I remember him coming up and grabbing me just before he left. And he said, "Come outside." And he's like, "You don't understand what this has done for me." And that brought tears to my eyes. Like, just knowing that I could do one thing, and he just felt comfortable enough without even talking to me about what his struggles were. Just the fact that I was trying to just open a conversation, he felt more comfortable to chat to whoever he needed to chat to.
Yeah.
So, it was just like, that's all it's about. I think that toxic masculinity, like, if you'll be right, and I think in Australia, it's even, I don't know if it's more so, but it's definitely in our culture. It's just like, toughen up, you'll be right, get through. That's what you're meant to do as a guy. And I think you just got to change it, because there's nothing wrong with feelings. And one thing I found is girls seem to like when you talk about feelings. So it's always one positive of it. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bit of a heavy topic, but
no,
an important
it's a good
one.
thing to talk about.
An important one
Importance
nonetheless.
is very important.
Does that mean I gotta get away with not talking about my relationship? Actually, I kind of just want to talk about it just to talk about it, because I feel like you guys would just listen.
Yeah.
100%.
So whether it's on the podcast or not, but so it was such a. What I hate is that I can't. There's a reason for sure that we broke up.
Yeah.
Right? There's like moments where, like, when I think back and I really think about it, like, there's a reason that we broke up, right? There's times where it wasn't. But I keep having this fucking trouble. Whenever I think about it, it's only good times.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest thing to get over, and I don't know if it's like, I don't know if like my mind's playing tricks on me, but like whenever I think of the times we had, like I think of like San Diego, I think of like all the trips we did.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of important though.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't know if it's like, maybe am I at like a certain time in the,
like, for me, like, I'm on the other end of the stick, but like, I'm never gonna look back and be like, oh, like Joe and I had that fight, we had this fight, or like we didn't speak for a couple of days, or we just like passive aggressive for a few weeks, and like, I don't know, it's just like, if you like get out of touch with someone, for example, when you don't see them, you think about the fun things you did together, and I think that's the important thing, that you're remembering it for what it was, not what it like became or what it was at certain points in the time, because like the longevity of the relationship was like a year, like you said, and that was a year of living your life with something and doing good things and having a great time with them. And you don't want to, like, I think it's a sign of a good relationship that you two had if you're looking back and being like, oh no, we fought all the time. Like, I think it's nice to be like, oh, we did all these amazing things together. And that's a really good perspective to have, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're going to be looking at the bad times. I think, as Perry said, there's probably deeper rooted problems than what you first thought. I think you just got to remember for what it was, for the good times. You can think about the one or two fights you had, but then think about all the times you're sitting there watching a movie or a TV show, which aren't special or that aren't going to spring in your mind as the most amazing thing you ever did.
Yeah.
But God, you're happy in that one moment.
Yeah, dude. Like the manial stuff is what makes a relationship. Like you don't go traveling the world with some girl for the whole life. Like you do stuff which just at the time is like, oh, it's like really nonchalant. You just, like I said, going out to dinner. Like I remember like that Mexican place I shouted out earlier in the podcast. That was my favorite place to go. And so like just little things like that. Like I drive past me like, oh, like that reminds me of Joe. Like it's a good thing to have, I think, just to reminisce about the good little things.
Never heard this before in my fucking life. I've never heard any what I'm always told and what I always hear is when I think that is stop thinking that, think of the bad times to get over it.
No.
That's what I'm told.
Obviously, like,
and I feel I feel crazy.
It makes it so hard to think like, oh, why does this have to end? Like all these good times, but then like as I said, like you think about one bad thing that happened, and then you compare that to everything else. It's like, cool. Like maybe we weren't meant to be, but I've learned a lot from it. She's learned a lot from it, and we can grow as people. And hopefully, in the long run, we can stay in each other's lives. Whether it's a big deal or if it's a little thing, it's just sort of. It's part of your life sort of thing. I think it's all part of growing. Like you make a dumb decision in life, you don't want to be reprimanded and have to like live with that for the rest of your life. You get knocked down, you get back up and you learn from it sort of thing, rather than I think that's like any relationship, whether it's 10 years, 1 year, 6 months, you get back up, you get back on the horse, you learn from it sort of thing.
That's important as well. There's with friendships as well. Like if you, I don't know, you and the boys in the house you live with just dropped out of touch all of a sudden. Or if it was something that happened, like, would you think you'd look back on it as well and be like, "Damn, we fought about the dishes and we fought about the cleanup after parties and stuff like that." It's just all the stupid shit and like all the fun stuff you've done together.
Yeah, but you definitely remember the party you had. Together,
exactly,
like how much
exactly.
fun it was. Yeah, 100%.
Nice. Yeah. What a nice way to think about it.
Obviously, like it's important. I think we're probably, I know, speaking on my behalf and probably Perry's, and I think yours as well. We are blessed that it wasn't a tumultuous end to a relationship. There was no sort of hard feelings either way. And
another thing for me is like I hate when people kind of like, oh, you just got to get back out there, just got to go meet and chat to people and go to bars. Dude, I broke up with my girlfriend and I didn't talk to a girl, to even try kiss a girl, even try to sleep with anyone for I'd say 7 or 8 months, and then just happened randomly one night. And like that's the point where you're kind of like, okay, I'm over it. But like for me, I broke up with her and I literally couldn't bring myself to do something like that. I think it's a terrible mentality to be like, you just gotta go out there and like just get back in the game. Like that's never works. I think Jordan Young summed it up really well. He's like, you can never hide girls with other girls. Never gonna end well for anyone.
No. That's what Max told me that too. What it was in that moment was like I was like, fuck, I need to restate, like I need to come back, be with myself and kind of learn how to be on my own again, because we did everything together.
Yeah.
We were right next to each other. And we would see each other all the time because we went to UCI, we went to all this kind of stuff, and so we became like this. And learning to be on my own was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing. Just knowing that that's not gonna help.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna have to learn how to do that, or else I'm not gonna be able to move on. Because now I feel better and slowly. Yeah.
And even now's not the time. It will come eventually. Like it's definitely a thing for me where I think that it'll reach a point where it would be like not a light bulb moment, but you'd be like, oh well, like actually, like I'm okay, and like I like, even though like it was rough a couple of months ago, like I'm fine now, and I think that it was good for what it is, and then now's my time to, I guess, kind of go out and meet other people now. It's nothing worse than being pressured to do something by mates or other things because they think that it worked for them, so it's going to work for you. Like that doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest thing I sort of picked up when you were talking is like finding that balance of like having your own life, but then also having a life with someone else. And it's like trying to make sure that you don't get succumbed by being together or succumbed by being on your own, because then you push someone away. So I think it's like that nice balance, and like I feel like I was able to learn that with Liv, and like I was really fortunate, and like obviously sometimes it doesn't, but you also now know that okay, that was the line where it was we only did things together, we only had friendships together, and all of a sudden we didn't have our own sort of lives, and you can sort of take that and learn from it. So yeah,
it's important.
It's deep topics.
I know. Yeah, I know. I don't know that. Yeah, that's for sure. some hot chili peppers now? What a great transition, everybody.
Diggle's ready. Diggle's ready.
I'm out of water too.
You might need to get him a bucket.
I'm having the tiniest little bit.
We're back.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shitting myself.
So scared. Okay, we got habaneros in front of us. We're gonna be doing this kind of hot one style, so total rip off. But we're doing habaneros, straight up peppers. I got very deep questions, very insightful questions to ask you guys while you guys are dying. And like I said, this is at the end of the podcast, so if you guys made it all the way through, thank you so much for watching. Again, let's do a plug before we do this. So you guys want to plug your Instagrams or anything?
Yeah, mine's Perry Fish and Chips with underscores in between all of them.
Mine's just Chris Diggle with a couple of underscores at the end.
Yeah.
Nice. Solid?
Solid.
You guys
Beautiful.
ready? Okay, let's
Not
hold
really.
this up. Hold this up, right? We'll do like a half bite, like a good
I'm having a quarter bite.
just look, and
I'm no hero.
Alright, cheers.
the point. So for the image, I'll screenshot it, and it'll be like the cover.
Sounds good.
So just okay. That's the content.
Okay.
So I'm done now?
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, we
Can you pass us the water first?
I have a whole fucking gallon. So.
Yeah. It's like a... Alrighty.
Okay.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
This is dumb.
Done
I don't even know
now.
how long.
I don't know. Oh fuck! I don't know why we did that.
Do you have the full thing? Did you have the full thing?
No, shit. Okay. I got the hiccups. Worst thing. Since I'm asking the questions.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
What is one thing?
It gets fucking worse.
What is one thing after spending a couple months here in America that you would change about American culture?
Oh, tipping. Oh my god, tipping.
100% facts.
Tipping?
Tipping sucks. Tipping's terrible. It's just...
This is fucked.
Back home, we include like taxing into everything as well, and tipping we only tip.
Shut up, next question.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Fuck, I'm crying. There's a scene in one of the best movies of all time, Ratatouille, where critic Anton Ego eats ratatouille and he is transported back to his childhood where his mom is cooking the same meal that he's eating in that moment. Is there any food that you could eat today, right now, that would take you back?
Beef stroganoff.
I don't know, like Vegemite is that for me. I love Vegemite. I wish I brought it in for you to try.
Oh, this is fucked.
It's really not.
I don't know why I'm crying. Pass me. Tissues, please. Okay.
Yeah, but like Vegemite or lasagna. My mum's lasagna. I fucking love that. What's a pretty gnarly wildlife back home?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
he's dying.
Okay. Ready? What is the same question you are asked every time you meet someone new?
Over here, where you from?
Yeah, it's. Oh, do I hear an accent? You go, yeah, where from? It's, oh, it's Australia. Yeah, and you chat with them. But I think one we've had a few times is like, do you see kangaroos often or?
Funny story. I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm gonna have to expose
Kelly
you.
Burns.
Kelly Burns. I remember one time. Oh fuck, it's gonna be hard to tell. We were sitting in just stunned away, and she asked if I've ever seen a kangaroo, and I tricked her by saying, "Oh yeah, we actually have to learn to ride kangaroos. Like if you want to pass 9th grade,
We do.
you have to learn to ride a kangaroo." And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, so you go on a camp and you get on the back of a kangaroo and you got to ride it. But if you can't ride it, you don't pass 9th grade. Like, I've got a mate who got stuck in 9th grade for 2 years because he couldn't ride a fucking kangaroo. And she's like, no way, that's so cool. And I kept it running and Raph was with us. And I looked at Raph and Raph was like laughing, like going along with it. And I had it for a good hour. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. Like,
the other funny one was, I think it was to you. Some girl was asking, like, is there lots of spiders back home? And then Chris is like, yeah, they run. He's like, no, spiders aren't bad. Snakes, they run the country. And she was like, like ran away.
I was like, yeah, like they basically run the country. Like the Prime Minister sees a snake, does what it's told.
Oh, wow. There's just spiders everywhere. You get huntsman spiders. They're good for the house. They're big spiders. They're not poisonous, but they eat the bugs. So you can't just trap them and throw them out the window.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Next question. So now we're going to Australian history. I did 30 minutes of research. Okay. To try to find out which one you guys would be able to talk about. So, considered by numerous articles that I read as the greatest Australian to ever live,
Steve Irwin.
Andrew Banjo Patterson.
Interesting.
Banjo Patterson, interesting, yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn about him in school?
Because I didn't want to pick like Chris Hemsworth, Mark, Steve Irwin, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to go into some real. So you guys learn about this guy.
We do, yeah.
So he said like some of the stuff of why he's like a big thing is because he says that. Well, the article. And this is straight up fucking ripping this off. He said, "I'm not this smart, or like I don't know this much." Ripping it off. He said, "Part of Aussie culture is also loving a yarn.
Yeah, having a yarn, having a
A
chat.
tale that makes us laugh, or has a jibe at a mate,
Job, yeah.
jibe at a mate, whether it be in the boardroom or around the barbecue." Can you guys fucking break that down?
Right, so
So what's a boardroom?
boardroom is like executive office. So if you're like a board of directors,
Oh, okay, just like an actual.
like an actual office, yeah. And a barbecue, that's self-explanatory. But I don't know, like we're having a yarn tonight. That's a good explanation of it. And
Oh, right now.
always down for a yarn. You're spinning a yarn, like you're just chatting away and it just kind of rolls off the tongue and everything's just going really well and just having a good conversation. And so I guess that kind of phrase sums up the fact that I'm always down to have a chat with anyone. A lot of Aussies are. We're down to chat together. That's why we all meet up and drink a lot, go to the pub.
This is a quote.
Chris can't speak, right?
Chris, this is a quote from
Another bite?
Banjo Patterson.
You go for it. Go on, hero. You have another bite.
I'm good.
This is him, by the way.
Stud.
You guys wear hats like that?
No.
Not like that. Not in a Cobra. I do have a nice little wide brim that I wear for the festivals back in summer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Whoa. Some American. Yeah. I like that. Okay. The quote is, fight on, fight on. Wait, actually, can you read this? Yeah, the extra.
Fight on, unflinchingly, till right and justice reign. Fight on, till victory shall send you home again. And with Australia's flag shall fly a spray of water bow to symbolise our unity. We are all Australians now.
Is that a quote you've heard before? Is this pure...
I haven't heard that before.
I'm gonna have to rate on your parade and say I've never heard that one before, but
Well, that's Andrew Banjo Patterson. They're saying that it's like one of like the best writers.
Yeah, so he wrote a lot of poems. I'm sure you'd have got the Light Brigade one.
Light Brigade, Man
Brigade.
from Snowy River.
Man of Snowy River. And he was... So the Light Brigade was like an infantry... I think it was World War One. I want to say World War One, where we had men riding on horses as like the front line. And so out in Penrith, which is like kind of an hour away from where I live, there's about 1.5 kilometers, which is about a mile actually, pretty much bang on the mile, of these red poles sticking up out of the ground with little tassels coming out the end, and they represent all the men who died fighting overseas in the Light Brigade. And so the Charge of the Light Brigade is probably one of the biggest poems back home that everyone learns about in high school, and Man from Snowy River is another one.
He wrote that.
He wrote both of them.
I kind of...
No, you did well.
Thanks.
He's a big historical figure. Yeah.
He's very influential in Australia's history for sure. Was the Man from Snowy River about Ned Kelly? No.
No, I don't think so. It was just about a horseback rider and just like living in the outback, sort of all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. He's like a very true blue, like Australian, old Australian for sure. Did he write Roll to Matilda? No. Absolutely no idea. That's another one.
Well, Andrew Banjo Patterson, one of the most Australian people you can get, and that's pretty much a way to wrap up what this was.
For sure.
Good time of getting to know you guys and
It's been a few yarns.
spin a few yards.
100%.
Yeah, it's a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah,
I had a
definitely
fucking
appreciate it.
Great
Great
time.
time.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah,
Really, really fun. Didn't really know what to expect coming in, to be honest. And here we are.
having a good time after this.
Here we are, exactly.
Yeah,
Not a fan of that. That's a no-go.
That's a no-go for Chris.
I'm gonna try to zoom in your face.
I'm still going through it.
It's kind of on my tongue now.
Yeah, it's in the corner
You
of
are
my-
a savage.
I like it, yeah. So my story behind it, if we don't want to wrap it up, if it's
go,
cut
go,
in.
go.
So back home in my soccer team, we have this thing called the Hothead Award, with guys who get yellow cards and red cards. I'm one of them. At the mid-season night out, we have a curry night where we all go eat curry together, and I was in charge of giving out the awards with 2 others, and so I created the Hothead Award, and I think it was 6 guys on our team habanero peppers. So we all ate them. Everyone was dying. One of the boys, Louis, ran outside and had to sit down outside, and he went to the bathroom and put his hands on his nuts and like recipe for disaster. So he was outside like
No.
like blowing in his nuts. Half the
Oh
group's
my
crying,
God.
and then 2 of the boys were like, "Oh, you guys have just been cowards. Like, surely not so bad." And so they have it. Grow up, you coward. And then this one guy, Dom, I got videos. He's just going, "Oh, that's fucked up." Like, he's crying, he's sobbing, like snot coming out. Yeah, that shit's strong. That's not good. But we're in a curry restaurant, so we're given mango lassi, and so we're all just like drinking like this like chutney yogurt type thing to try help it.
You love spice so much, you won't finish the rest of it. Go on. Go on. Do it.
That's how we're gonna end it.
This is how we're gonna end it.
Cut. Mid-bite.
No, that's got so many chili peppers. Nah,
Do it!
nah.
Pussy.
Coward. I'm a coward.
Grow up, coward.
I'm a coward, but that's gonna upset my stomach if I have that much.
Yeah. I know my bite was a
Oh,
good little chunk.
I had the first one and didn't really feel anything. The second one, I was like, holy fuck.
Just like panting. The funny part is you're just trying to
just
get like the sentences out.
Which is great.
It's like you're like about to throw up.
Because I started hiccup, I was like, oh. Then I was like, fuck. I'm the one asking the fucking question. I can't even talk.
That's good. You should make everyone do that now.
That was fun.
I had a really good time.
It started off a little, like we said,
But there's still stuff in there that you can use, and even
at the
cut it to
beginning.
the end and put it after.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know how you do it, but you'll be able to play with it. Sure, we've got stuff to
It'll
work
come
with.
out good.
Yeah.
But when it comes out, I think a lot of people will listen to it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, as I said, what you're doing is awesome. Like,
Yeah,
you're sort of
100%.
doing something which is obviously your passion, but also it's really cool, and like you're doing a fucking awesome job of it. So
Thank you.
it's cool to have to
Appreciate it.
support you, and hopefully more listeners the better.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. We're gonna pander to the Australian audience now. You're gonna have some cross-world audience.
I sent a Snapchat before of Perry and I just like with you in the background saying just podcast famous, and got like 15 replies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Should be good. Should be fun. I know little pop-up views in Australia.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. My mates love watching the Joe Rogan podcast. Be like,
Oh my gosh.
they're,
Joe Rogan.
they're gonna be all over it. So I'll tell them to get on it.
Perfect.
Very excited.
Should be good. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever it comes to the end, it's just I think I have this like I don't want it to end. So I'm like, but I think it was fun.
Yeah, dude, I had a really good time. Thank you so much for having us on.
Again,
Don't think
well,
it was
thank you
that
guys. Thank you for making the time. Thank you for sticking around through all that fucking. It's about to be 12 o'clock. So
Nah, it's good. It's worth it.
Definitely worth it. I'm just going through my photos, seeing if there's anything else. I don't think so.
Not much.
that Aussie slang shit was so much fun.
The Aussie slang, yeah. We got a lot of it. I'll show you the video of the guy from my soccer team as well. We gotta go to videos. It's dying. Where is it? Here we go. Let's justify I can be here.
Oh my god.
And then this is Louis.
No.
We're in a nursing home. It was attached to the curry place.
Uh-huh.
So my friend found the keys to a mobility scooter and was just riding that around super drunk. That was a fun night. That was a really good night.
That was Chris right now.
Literally, mate. I'm still going through it. Like the back of my throat's still sore.
We were having a conversation. He was talking, and then I look over, and you're just like,
Just trying to survive.
Going through it.
Did you find anything?
Well, I'm halfway through. I'm up to like SandoCon, which is like Christmas time.
Oh, your wedding.
Fuck off. I was expecting you to say something about that.
I was going to go Diggle's house.
Ooh, food.
What food we have back home, or?
Yeah. What's the staple?
Ooh, meat pies.
Yeah, meat pie, sausage roll.
Avocado. Love avocado.
Big thing is like brunch, but brunch for us doesn't mean like bottomless mimosas like you guys. Brunch is just
breakfast.
like
Coffee,
just
actually.
breakfast and coffee. Oh,
Coffee. Oh.
I really want to teach you guys how to make some real
Coffee
coffee.
is not good over here.
Whoa.
Coffee is not good. I'm going to plug the Common Room Roasters. If anyone lives near Newport or Costa Mesa, go there. That's good coffee.
Common Room Roastery. It's
Common Room
Roastery. It's a coffee roastery sort of thing, and they also make their own coffee there as well. It's run by two guys from Melbourne, and it is by far the best coffee you'll have over here.
So nice.
I stumbled across it one day, and I've been back. I reckon I've gone through 4 loyalty cards. And
Where is it? It's in Newport?
yeah, just sort of tucked away in the back of Newport. Just
I'll probably go.
So you know when you're coming off the top of the streets, you're about to turn right to go down towards the freeway.
Yeah.
You go up that hill straight ahead.
just off Placentia Avenue. So
Oh, okay.
definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
so
kind of
like literally 2 or 3 minutes away from Newport.
Yeah.
It's like closer to.
Yeah,
the,
actually no,
closer-
sorry.
Yeah, it might be like.
He showed us when I went with Nick. So my mate Nick and I, we went, and I noticed that we were in the neighbourhood because I noticed the dual gas stations. I was like, oh, let's go to what was your street name again?
Wallace.
Wallace. I was like, let's go Wallace. I drove past. I was like, my mates live there. Like I literally drove past. It was like
That's
5
nice.
minutes from your
Yeah.
house. Definitely go hit it
Yeah,
up.
shameless plug. Get around them. They're awesome guys. Have looked after us. They're going to help us out if they could with the bushfire philanthropy we're trying to run. That's another shameless plug.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look out for it. Week 8. There's going to be a pike by 8 feet bushfire philanthropy. Trying to raise some money for back home. Obviously, sort of some of the fires are under control still, but there's still so much support that needs to sort of go on to help a lot of people back there and a lot of wildlife and all that. So hopefully, I think what we've spoken to, it's going to be the first sort of sorority fraternity sort of philanthropy. So it's kind of good. We got Emma, who's in AFE, who's Australian as well. So try and raise some money, show your faces, do whatever you can to sort of get around a good cause. So yeah, it's coming up in week 8.
I think this should be coming out week 8 then.
Sounds good.
Perfect. This week then.
Well, you better have gone, or you better be going.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Perfect. I mean, I don't know.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you so much for having us on. I had a great time.
Thank you guys for watching. Again, Chris Perry, amazing guest. Again, it's about time with me, your host Joel Sandoval Franco. We had a great time. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching all the way through.
Thank you.
See you guys.